Hello everybody, LAY-Z here, welcome to my channel, and today, how to set up the LAY-Z-SPA. We'll have you relaxing in no time. These Bestway LAY-Z-SPAs are a nice bit of kit. This is the LAY-Z-SPA that I'm going to be setting up today, and the picture on the front is 4 of the tiniest adults you're ever likely to bump into. This LAY-Z-SPA is perfect for 1, ideal for 2, not too bad for 3, but 4 is a bit of a push unless you're very close. A quick health and safety warning: don't ever be tempted to plug it into a long extension lead like this, because the spa uses a lot of power and this will get extremely hot. So make sure you plug it into the correct main socket. If in any doubt, contact your local electrician. And I've already unboxed everything here. Make sure that you put your LAY-Z-SPA on something nice and soft. This one is on a patio, so I've just laid down some rubber matting, or anything like yoga mats or that children's matting that you plug together like puzzles would be ideal. The clever thing about this package is the LAY-Z-SPA unit can pump itself up. So you've got this pipe here, so let's get this connected. You can of course use your own air inflation device, but if you haven't got one, you can use the LAY-Z-SPA device here. So you need to screw this pipework in. Let's just offer it up to the edge of the pipe there, and then tighten that up. Whilst I'm doing that, there's a link above about how to defrost your freezer in under 15 minutes. And then the other end is to pump up that actual LAY-Z-SPA. Now in the instructions it says stick it in this hole, but I can't even see what hole that is. Hopeless. It's actually this one here. So if you unscrew the outer cap, when you come to deflate it, that whole unit unscrews. So if that does come off, you can just screw that back in. So just unscrew the cap, put the end of the pipe in there, put that in your pipe and smoke it. So that is ready. Then we'll plug the LAY-Z-SPA into the mains. And you may need to press this reset button. That will give the LAY-Z-SPA power. What you need to do first is just make sure it's on, so just hold down that power button. And we're ready. Now press the bubbles button at the bottom. That's normally used for bubbles. That is blowing air into that pipe and pumping up the LAY-Z-SPA. Now don't be tempted to block up those holes around the exit of that pipe there, because that is there as a safety device to stop you overinflating your LAY-Z-SPA and popping it. So don't worry that you've got lots of air coming out of the bottom. Now I'll just speed this footage up to 4 times. It's actually really quick to inflate. It's a really ingenious way of doing it. Saves you getting out all your pumps. Or if you haven't got a pump, it's absolutely ideal. Now with this, just keep going. Whilst I'm doing that, there's a link above about how to keep your curtains super smooth on the curtain rails. That is a top tip. And then squeeze it until it feels like it's nice and solid. It takes between 3 to 5 minutes to fully inflate. That's now pretty much fully inflated. We can just turn it off. Now remember that the padlock icon comes on after about 3 minutes, so you may have to unlock the LAY-Z-SPA keypad. I've turned the bubbles off. Unscrew this pipework, just pull it out. It's got a valve in there so it won't start deflating. Then just tighten that lid up. Now don't pack away that pipework just yet, because we're going to pump up the cover. Pump up the cover, pump up the cover, yeah. So put that in the cover. And again, press the bubbles on the keypad and start inflating it, but don't fully inflate this. Just get it reasonably inflated, and then you're going to be putting it inside the cover which goes over the top of it. Again, I'll speed this footage up. And here is the outer cover. So that's going to sit inside. And if you pump it up too much, you won't be able to fit it in. So let's just stop it at this point. Then put it inside the outer cover. It just tucks inside. Once it's tucked inside, you can then put the pipe back in and carry on inflating it. Just letting a bit more air out of this. Okay, then plug the pipe back in and then fully inflate that. Now this one, when you take it out, will start deflating, so you need to get that cap on pretty quickly. Fabulous. Turn the bubbles off. So that is the cover inflated and the LAY-Z-SPA inflated. Ah, here's my phone. Okay, I'm back after answering my phone. Sorry about that. Obviously the LAY-Z-SPA cover won't sit inside because there's no water in it. It'll just fall to the bottom. But when it is full of water, you've got these clips. These are child safety clips, and I'll show you how those work later on. Now we can unscrew this pipe and we can start getting all the rest of the pipe work ready for the LAY-Z-SPA. Unscrew this cap here. Put that somewhere safe, probably inside the box if you're going to keep the box. You've got these 3 pipe works here which all need to be tightened up, so move the LAY-Z-SPA towards the big unit here. Make sure you've got it exactly where you want it. The LAY-Z-SPA isn't that heavy, so it's quite easy just to manoeuvre around. And you know, when astronauts dock onto the International Space Station, this is what this feels like, trying to get it all connected. And let's hope we don't ever hear this. Houston, we have a problem. I'm just going to get this top one in. This is part of the water filtration system and the heating system. So get these pipework screws tightened up. Remember, these are only plastic threads, so don't go absolutely crazy with these. Don't ever try and put a tool on them, just do them hand tight as you can get them. And then we've just got the big one at the back at the bottom, which is what does the bubbles. Fabulous. So just pull the LAY-Z-SPA close to that and then get that tightened up. Now there's not much room in this one at the bottom. I've got quite big hands and I'm struggling to get in here. Big hands and sausage fingers. But whatever you do, don't try and force the thread. If it doesn't feel like it's going on naturally, then don't carry on. It should just go on very easily. And there we go, look. Just rolling it around with my thumb. It's going on nice and easy. And just tighten that up, hand tight. So that is all 3 pipe works all screwed up nice and tight. We just give the unit and the LAY-Z-SPA a bit of a wiggle just to make sure they're all nice and just to make sure they're not stressed. Just one final check. Fabulous. You get 2 filters with the LAY-Z-SPA. So here's the filter unit here. Place the filter inside, put the cover on, and then lock it in with this screw cap here. And again, these are all plastic threads, so do not force this. This should go on very naturally. Talking of filters, there's a link above now about how to clean the filter on your LAY-Z-SPA. That just makes it last a little bit longer and saves you having to buy a new one. The filter system goes on the bottom here. That's just a cover, put that somewhere safe. It doesn't screw on, it just pops off. And I can't stress enough, again, plastic threads. Don't force it, should just go on very, very naturally. So just turn it clockwise, tighten it up. And that one is done. Next is the Chem Connect, which is how the chlorine gets dissolved into your LAY-Z-SPA, and the Chem Connect does it at a specific rate, so it helps keep the pool nice and clean. And I've got these Clearway multifunction chlorine tablets here, which are absolutely fantastic. I've got 50 of these. To undo the cover on the Chem Connect, just unscrew it anti-clockwise and lift the cover off. Take one of the tablets and just lay it inside here. Put the lid back on, it just slides down into one of the grooves there. And then to lock it into place, turn it clockwise. That is now locked. But on this Chem Connect, you can actually select the amount of chlorine which goes into your LAY-Z-SPA. So it's locked into this position here. But if you turn it far to the right, that's the minimum amount of chlorine. And if you turn it slightly to the left, that allows more chlorine to go into your LAY-Z-SPA. So it's up to you how much chlorine you want in your LAY-Z-SPA. Depends how many people are using it. Now to put it on, it's got a small divot here. You push it in and then you twist it clockwise and then it just locks into position on those red bars. Again, don't force it. This is all plastic. You should just feel it push into the groove. And then you're turning it clockwise about 45 degrees, not far. And you'll feel it just lock into place. There we go. That's simple. Then you can adjust the Chem Connect from the front if you want to. I'm just going to leave it on the minimum setting. Then we can start filling it up with water. I said water, lurgs. Make sure you use fresh tap water, obviously. Don't ever be tempted to use water from a water butt. Why would you? But just in case, because that will be full of dirt. Now I haven't got a particularly great flow rate on this hose, so it's going to take quite a while, probably 3 to 4 hours. There's 2 cup holders here. It's filling up slowly, and mains cold tap water is about 17 degrees centigrade, pretty chilly. Now the first time you use it, you might have to press this reset button on the side, but I actually didn't have to. Now we're almost full up. This is about 2 or 3 hours later. Now you want it above the minimum but below the maximum. Obviously don't ever turn on the spa if there's no water in it. You don't want to go above the maximum, because if you get 4 people in here, it's literally just going to flood straight over the side. So that's perfect on the max. Now we're going to put the cover on while we're heating it up. It's a good idea to put the cover on when the heating's on. That just helps it to heat up quicker. Unless of course it's an absolutely baking hot day and the sun's beating down, then you could have the heating on without the cover on. But I'm just going to put the cover on here. Now you've got these child safety clips to stop children unclipping it and accidentally falling in the LAY-Z-SPA. And I'll show you how these clips work. They're almost like normal clips, but they've just got an extra bit that you have to push, which is the child safety element. So to clip it in, just push it upwards, and then to adjust the strap, just pull it at the back and that tightens it down. So just do that all the way around the LAY-Z-SPA. To undo it, you push that button at the top and squeeze the sides, and that's the child safety device to stop children unclipping it. So just remember when you're doing that. Now we're ready to turn the heating on. As I stressed earlier, don't ever use an extension lead for this because it will overheat. So to turn it on, just hold the power button in for 2 to 3 seconds. That lights up the keypad. That is the temperature at the top of the current water. Then turn on the heating and the water filtration system by pressing these 2 buttons here. Then select your desired temperature goes up to 40 degrees. I find 40 degrees is way too hot. 38 is perfect. If it's in the summer and it's a nice day, 35 is perfect. 38 generally seems to be about the perfect temperature. 40 degrees is way too hot, and when you climb in, you're kind of going, oh, too hot. Check any pipework, make sure you've got no leaks. There shouldn't be any leaks. And it's already risen by 1 degree already. After 3 or 4 minutes, the keypad will lock. So remember to press the unlock button if you want to do anything on the keypad. If you think, why isn't it working? It's because it's locked itself. Little hand says it's time to rock and roll. So I'm just going to check the temperature every few hours here. Now we're up to 26 degrees. Just check my point break watch again. Oh, love this watch. $29 degrees. 10 to 3 in the afternoon, the sun's out. 35 degrees, jackpot. Fantastic. Now we can take the cover off. And as it's a baking hot day, there's a link above about how to use your car air conditioning super efficiently and get it super cold really quickly. And we're almost ready to get in. Woohoo! Remember to unclip it all and push the button at the top, the child safety device. Go all the way around and unclip everything. Now I find when you take this cover off, lay it down somewhere that's not dirty, but lay it down the way it sits on the spa. Otherwise, if you lay it the other way up, you will get lots of flies and that sitting on it and dirt. Now remember, if you're going to be going in your LAY-Z-SPA, to take off the Chem Connect, because you don't want the chlorine pumping around the LAY-Z-SPA while you're in it. So just unclip that by turning it anti-clockwise. Put that somewhere safe. Now we're ready to get in. Woohoo! Oh yes. Oh, superb. Oh, remember to take your t-shirt off, Lugs. It's a beautiful hot summer's day. See what I mean? I'm just pretty regular size. Perfect for 1, perfect for 2, 3's okay, but 4 people in here is a bit of a squash. Oh, look at this. I think Daisy wants to come and join me actually, but it's not for doggies. No, no, no. And normally I'd have a Prosecco or a beer at this point, but let's just have a lovely cup of tea. I hope you found that useful. Up here is a link on how to change your filter on your LAY-Z-SPA. And over on this side, there's a link on how to clean your filter on your LAY-Z-SPA. That just makes it last a little bit longer. Thanks for visiting my channel.